All right, you guys, we are now recording. This is Adrienne Carbonell, and I am so excited about our week 9, our 90-day conference for week 9. If you hear my voice being a little nasally, it's because I'm getting over a cold, and honestly, that's what I love about this business is even when you need some downtime, you can still get it, and you can still be working, and you can still be doing things, messaging, and everything like that. So I have to say, it's really great to be in this industry. You're not going to find a better place to really, put your time and your effort into than creating your own income with Isogenics. And network marketing in general is just such an amazing, amazing culture. It's an amazing profession. And tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping real quick because we are just so close here to getting to January. We've got a couple more months. But we still have the Lifestyle Leadership Contest. It is on. Game on. I don't know if you guys are looking what I'm looking at, but that's like a Louis Vuitton purse. That's the Alamo, because we're going to be in San Antonio. Those are the boots you're going to get. This is a wanted sign, which means we want you to get your button gear, okay? This is the San Antonio Riverwalk. We're going to be doing a lot down there as a team. And here's the tag, Howard watch. Thank you. Okay, for that, for the men here. So all this stuff is pretty fancy, but guess what? So are you. And the cool part about it is that it's absolutely within your reach and you have time. I read a post today about some other millionaires in Isogenics, Zach and Eden, and they ended up they ended up hitting 173 cycles in their reentry by hitting. No, that's not right. They hit 5-star in their reentry, and they already were cycling 173 times in their original position. So, and this was in a couple months. Like a couple months ago, they were only at 6 cycles in their reentry. So let me just tell you what. The one thing between you and them right now is they have really good habits and really great skills, and they continue to hone those skills. They continue to move forward regardless of their situations, circumstances, or the way that they're feeling that day, okay? So they really have leadership conditioning. And tonight, around this contest, you must be a paid as executive for 2 weeks out of the 90-day. Honestly, you guys, that's not asking a lot. To be a paid as executive for 2 weeks out of 90 days, you got this, okay? Yes, you do have to reach for executive. You do need to create 5 consultants down your left and 5 consultants down your right. But I assure you that when you get creative and you get committed, that you'll do it. And when you do, you'll have won this whole contest, especially if you're that close. Like I know some of you guys are bordering on 10 cycles per week and you've hit 20 cycles per week. And so the one thing you're missing to really win it all is having that executive status. And the executive status is something that's totally achievable. I recommend you do it within 30 days. So don't start it and postpone it and say, oh, I'm going to get 5 consultants this month and 5 consultants next month. That's not the way you play executive. Executive is full out for 30 days, connecting with every single person in your downline, in your organization, anyone who's ever ordered, anyone who's not ordering and might reorder again. You could reach out to them and let them know we've got a new shake flavor. Your leaders are always they're always getting creative. They're always making a new reason to reach out. Okay, and I remember the last time I hit executive, I offered some incentives to do it because I knew that matching bonus was greater than the incentives that I was putting out. Does that make sense? So I really went for it. And I'm not ashamed of saying that because I think that executive is totally achievable. It is what we do in the process of creating consultants. So as we do our business right, we're leading by example, we're constantly working on creating consultants. And consultant, if you're brand new, is having 1 person on your left and 1 person on your right, enrolled with 100 BV. And you're all ordering a minimum of 100 BV, PV, product volume, BV, business volume, either way. But as you do that, and you continue to help other people do the same, then you'll reach consultant and whatever it takes. So I would pull out all the stops because we're week 9. And if that's the one thing that's missing, I say you just go crazy. I almost said something else. I don't think it's appropriate online. So you just need to go crazy, okay? And by that, I mean map it out. I don't care if you have a map currently sitting up on your wall or somewhere where you can see it, or you have the traits and the qualities like we still did, like we did in the first time around, but it's time to just go for it. So every morning, wake up, access your back office, and ask yourself this one question. Who can I reach out to today and help them get 2 people to become a consultant? How many consultants can I create today? What is that going to take? Okay? And you'll do it. You'll absolutely do it. And if you've never done it before, even more the reason why you need to hit executive. Not messing around. There's a lot at stake. There's a $1,300 purse that you probably wouldn't go buy on your own, okay? There's a personal business trip where George and I are going to fly you to or bring you to where we live. All expenses paid except for your travel to get up here from San Antonio and NYKO up to here. How important would that be for you to sit down and have that discussion of what you're going to do before celebration? You get that, right? Like New Year kickoff is the event that happens to help you plan and motivate you for the next 6 months up to celebration so that you can be celebrated. So, we only have 2 big events each year. Might as well get crazy with it. I want to talk a little bit about, because we are in week 9, and a lot of you guys you're doing several calls. I know Leah has me so busy. I felt so bad. Thank you for being team, you guys. There's no I in team. Lucy and other people for stepping up and helping everybody with calls. I think that's so important to have. Accountability is 99% of why you do something. And that's why we have these calls, and that's why we have team. And if one of us can't be there to do something, that's why we have each other. That's why you're able to reach out to the Lucys and the Kims and, other people and Leah who are working their business. That's why you reach out. It's to help one another. You're not making calls on your own. And I just would not have sounded very great. I had to resign for a moment because I don't think I would have been the best candidate for, vibrant health that day. So just want to let you guys know how grateful I am that you guys came together and did those calls and made that happen. That's leadership conditioning too. So we're going to talk about week 9. And I want to talk about having confidence. I just put out a challenge there to go for executive. It's been out there this whole time, but I sort of hit you with it again because it's very crucial to your business. And I think confidence is a huge thing. Some of you guys, when I say executive, you're cringe inside. You may not have shown it, but you're it causes you anxiety, right? It causes a source of frustration. It could be even, a source of pain. And it's all the way that you think about it. And doing anything, achieving any goal is, a lot of it is accountability, and a lot of it is just having the confidence to go for it. And I know that when we get into this business at first, we go through some challenges. And some of the first challenges is that sometimes we have, haters in our lives. We have people who want to bring us down. They don't want to see us succeed. They say that they do, but they don't support it, right? We have people who are just freaking trolls, okay? They just are not very nice to us when it comes to this. And it's not a happy situation. And I remember, and I'm telling you the truth here because this is week 9, okay? If part of the reason why you haven't reached out, like I gave the challenge before George did those other 2 and told you about the accountability thing, I gave a challenge to reach out to 5 people who would mean something to you in your business. I gave you a challenge to reach out and connect with people who could really do something in this business. They could bring it in and rock it. They may even be better than you at. They have better skills. They've got what it takes. And some of you guys did do that and some of you didn't. And, I talked about them being 5 successful people. 5 people who you probably would have said, hey, they don't have the time right now. But if you called them and you used the scripts, the Eric Worre scripts about business, and you talked to them about a business, they most likely would be interested because they're a business person, right? So why didn't you do it? Why didn't you reach out to those 5?
Adrienne?
Uh-huh.
What was the challenge? Because I reached out to 3. I didn't reach out to 5, but I reached out to 3.
It was as many as possible, a minimum of 5.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So
Okay.
that was my goal for you, was to reach out to at least 5 people.
Was I supposed to let you know that then, part of the challenge? So I'm sorry if I didn't understand that.
No, it's not. You don't need to like speak out. I'm just saying some of us didn't do it. But yay, Kim. Yay. Way to be accountable on live video. Okay? And that's not a demeaning thing at all. I think it's really brave of you to participate like that. So you reached out to 3? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, I did. And I'm embarrassed because I don't know if I knew about your challenge or if I read it correctly, or so when you said that, I was like, well, I reached out to 3 people, so that can count, right?
Yeah. 3 counts. Absolutely. Why do you think you didn't reach out to more than that? I know you know quite a few people. Is there anything you think that maybe could have been holding you back from reaching out to more than 3?
Yeah, just being chicken, I guess. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. 3.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair, chicken, because that's what I want to talk to you guys about.
That's kind of what I felt like I had time for, I guess. I think that if I did more, I started to feel a little bit more anxiety. So that was kind of good for me to get back into it. 3 was a comfortable number for me.
3 was comfortable. Okay, but the 90 days not about comfort. And so I'm using Kim as an example, and I'm not wanting to pick on her, but I want to use her as an example in this scenario because I heard 2 things come up for her: time and confidence, basically chicken, right? Not wanting to reach out to more than 3, or not creating the time for it either. And for me, it was a lot more simple than that, but that didn't make it any less like challenging. It's just that I've done it quite a bit, you know? And so George and I are actually meeting with a couple this weekend in Dallas because of it. And so good things came of it. Not all of them were great. Some of them were not amazing, but the 6 people that I did reach out to, that meant something to me, even if it didn't mean something to them, because I did what I said I was going to do. Right? And when you do what you say you're going to do, there is no greater confidence building task than to do what you say you're going to do. And on the lines of that, I want you to know that like everything, and I mean everything, rises and falls on confidence. Everything does, especially this business. And, you know, it includes a lot of things. It includes your customers' confidence. It includes their confidence in the product and their confidence in you, your confidence in your leaders and your owners and the people who've gone ahead of us, and your confidence in you. I mean, everything rises and falls on the confidence that you have in yourself. And I'll tell you what, the easiest way to move past that challenge is to do what you said you were going to do. Make commitments to yourself and finish them. Be a finisher. Don't just be a starter, but be a finisher. Because too many times in your life, and I guarantee this is way before Isogenics, way before you became an entrepreneur, way before you decided to own your own business and take it seriously, there were certain things that you said you were going to do, and you didn't. And so when I put out there, hey, it's time to hit executive, we're week 9, and you know, we could have even had it accomplished in the previous weeks, right? You know, then, you know, it tells me that, you know, your confidence is waning. And, you know, you guys may have said, oh, I'm going to do it. And if you didn't do it yet, you're sort of beating yourself up and going, why didn't I do that? We all have things like that in our past. I want you to think back for a moment. You don't have to say it out loud, but I want you to think back for a moment. And I don't want to leave you in this negative state, but I want you to think back and I want you to really feel, what are some of the things that you said you were going to do and life got in the way, you got in the way, excuses got in the way, and it didn't get done? How does that make you feel? You don't have to share what it was or anything like that, but do you guys have maybe some words about how that makes you feel? Because to me, it feels like crap. I feel like I want to say things like, what a loser, what a failure, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't do that. And I start to really beat up. What are some of the words that you guys use when you say you're going to do something, you don't do it? Anybody?
Do you want us to speak now?
I want you to give some words, but you don't have to give examples, but just give some words maybe about how that made you feel when you committed to do something and you didn't do it. And how does that make you feel?
Well, I think it can't not, I mean, you have to just feel horrible when you made a commitment to yourself and you don't follow through with it. So
horrible, that's a good word. Leah, how about you?
I get depressed.
Depressed, yeah. Kim, how about you?
Empty.
You feel empty, yeah. For me, I get anxious. It's like I can't not, right? I'm so disturbed, like that it didn't get done, that it eats at me. Like every day the anxiety builds and builds and builds. So thinking and feeling the way that we're feeling right now, because it feels heavy, let's just take a deep breath, right? We're in a new moment. But that is not a way to live life. And the majority of people that we see out there are living life like that. You guys know better. You've had training, you've had experience, you've had incredible leaders on this call. Many of you guys have coached with amazing coaches. Okay, some of you guys have not missed a Jeffrey Combs call. You've been on every single call. You know better than to let yourself feel like that, because if you don't feel good about you, nobody else is either, and you're not going to attract the right people into your business. It doesn't matter how many people you call. Well, you might attract a couple people, but they might not be the person that you're looking for, because you're lacking the confidence to be the person who does what they say they're going to do, and just there's no stopping you. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Amen. No matter what. Bada boom. That's it. So as we are going through this 90-day action plan, you guys have every single tool you need. We've gone over how to get a new member started right, more ways than I can count. Okay. We've gone over accountability, how to create accountability for yourself, how to fill out a tracker form. We have a brand new tracker form with descriptives. Why you need to do it like this, okay? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. We have a getting started, 7 steps for getting people started right. So you know exactly what happens after you get that person involved. What are the next steps? Send them a welcome letter. And if they're not already in the groups, we welcome them into the groups. If they, we coach them once a week. We give them 15 minutes each week, not just product coaching, but adherence to letting them know, like, hey, there's a way to get your products paid for, FYI, if you didn't hear that in my first phone call, right? And we keep going. So there's so many tools that you guys have. We read a book of the month. We read a personal development book of the month, because I know that when you don't reach your goals, because it's the same way I've felt in the past, it's because of personal development. It's because you not loving on you not making you a priority. And I love what Bill Mayer says when he says that the biggest thing you can ever do in your life is to learn how to love yourself. He says loving yourself is a lifelong affair. To learn to do that. And if doing what you say you're going to do and not doing it doesn't make you feel like you're loving yourself, then that's a habit that has to be stopped, because it's killing your confidence. And if you're not finding confidence on a daily basis to complete the process of reaching out to 5 to 10 people per day, or even one person per day at a minimum, then I don't think anybody can help you but you. You can jump on these calls, and I know you guys have seen this in other groups as well. You see the same people getting on the same calls every single week, the same people showing up to the same meeting every single week and not doing anything. That's not you. Don't be that person. Okay? We're going to work on finding confidence, because if confidence is critical to success, right, then the challenge is in finding that confidence. So where is it? How do you get it? How do you develop it? I want you guys to ask yourself that question. I really want you to write down a few things to yourself. Where do I get confidence? How do I get confidence? And now I want you to think back in your past, because this will help, okay? It'll help you improve your confidence. Think back in your past to a time when you said you were going to do something and you did do it. You showed up. Isn't that half the battle? Showing up for yourself, showing up, right? So funny because I walked into my daughter's school the other day and there was like some things flashing on the sign and I was, reading it and it said that 86% of students that have less than 7 absences are more likely to get a college degree. Why? Because they showed up, right? They showed up for their life. They showed up. They show up to class. They're not confused because they're not missing anything. So I want you guys to think about that, okay? And just ask yourself, how can I really improve? How can I really do that? And I honestly think the best thing that you can do is to think back in the past to other things that you did that you said you're going to do. So now let me ask you this, because we went through the other one. Let me ask you, what are some times in your life, and you don't have to explain the event, that you felt really successful? When are some times where you said, whoo, I've arrived? I don't believe in arriving, by the way, because I just think we keep going. But there are some moments, right? Some top tier excitement in your life. There are some things you accomplished. And I'll tell you one of mine. I'll tell you one of mine, even though it's not the story that matters, it's the way that I felt. My parents had moved us from when I was finishing middle school to high school. So I had to go to a brand new high school without any of my middle school friends, my junior high friends. And I thought, I'm never going to have any friends. I'm going to be a total loner. I'm going to eat alone at lunch. This is a real fear of mine. I was really upset about it. I was upset that my parents moved. I was upset that I had to start over. I was upset that I didn't get a tryout for like a squad or anything like that. And that whole first year that I was at that high school, I did, like the first 6 months of the school year, I ate with my sister in the lunchroom. I didn't have a lot of friends yet. I didn't know anybody because they all knew each other from middle school, right? So they already had their groups and their cliques, and I didn't really know where I fit in. And I made a couple good friends, like just a few people. And then I set out that the end of that year, around 9 months of that first year of high school, in my 10th grade year, that I was going to try out for something, whether it be dance company or cheer. Those were the only things my mom let me do. So I didn't play sports. I wished I did, we didn't have money for that. So I had one thing growing up, and that was called dance. And my mom said, yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I said, do you think I'm crazy for doing that? I'm not on dance team right now. And I don't know really anybody in the cheer, world or whatever at school. So she said, well, why do you want to do it? And the only reason why I wanted to try out for cheerleading is not because I thought I would be a great cheerleader. It's so sad to say, but it's because I wanted to make friends. I wanted to make more friends. And I thought, what better way than to join a club? And so I did it. I tried out. I had just had my wisdom teeth removed the week before. So I couldn't do any flipping or gymnastics. I think I did a round off and was like, my whole head went up and I was like, oh, it was really bad. My tryout was really super bad, you guys. But when they did callbacks, and I'll distinctly remember having like the little tag on my shorts and it said like number 11, which is, by the way, one of my magic numbers. I see 11s everywhere all the time when things are going right in my life. And it was number 11. And I just remember sitting in a group full of like 28 girls trying out for the junior squad. Okay. And they did 2 sets. They did like, this is the first set of people who make it. And this is the second set, which is kind of like, backup basically. And I'll never forget. It was like 5 people had been gone by. There was only 10 in the first one. 5 had gone by, 6, 7. And I think I was like number 8 or 9. I'm not sure. That they called my number and I was like, yes. And I didn't cry, but I really wanted to cry, you guys, in that moment. Because I did what I said I was going to do, number 1. But number 2, I accomplished what I had set out to accomplish. I made a club, I made a little squad. I was able to finally make some really good friends. And I'll tell you, I'm still friends with a lot of those girls today, even on Facebook and social media and online. And we have that connection of cheering together and going to those games and doing all that stuff, you know? So that was an accomplishment for me, albeit little. I've had other ones in business, but that's like one of the youngest ones I can think of, really, that I felt like I did what I said I was going to do, and I fulfilled the purpose and the reason why. And so I think having confidence comes back to that reason why. I think it comes back to putting the work in no matter what, not giving up. If the challenge is put out there, you say, I'm going to do it, and you do it. Not because it's always happy and fun and exciting and you're smiling throughout the whole process. No, you're not. There might be some painful moments. You might do a round off after having your wisdom teeth removed and it doesn't feel good. And you do it in front of the whole school. Okay? And I know social media feels like that. Sometimes it feels like high school, right? It feels like the whole school is watching. All the kids are watching, you know? And you're scared to make that video and post it out. Or you're scared to reach out into that other group that you've been participating in. Or you're scared to post a before and after photo because what if you post too many, right? You're scared to send that message and really dig deep and ask that person what's going on in their life. It's no different. When you invite people to take a look at what you're doing, you're inviting people into your life, absolutely, and it's not for everybody. There might be people that you don't want to work with. You don't want to have them in your team no matter what, and that's okay. But if you look back and just individually reflect, I know that there are moments in your past where you felt like a total winner. And I know that thinking through those moments on a daily basis, especially right before you make calls, help boost your level, get you feeling good, get that lifelong love affair going where you really truly love and care about yourself and you care about doing what you said you're going to do in business, because it doesn't just affect you. It affects the people that you're going to reach out to. It gives them an opportunity to change and be better. It gives you an opportunity to change and be better with them. And it gives you an opportunity to, for whatever reason, that car, the house, the vacation home, the lifestyle, whatever it is for you. Don't make it about paying the bills, because you're always going to pay bills if you do that. Make it about the reasons why you require to succeed. The reasons why building confidence is going to be your biggest friend. The reason why you listen to the personal development book of the month, right? Which we'll be releasing a new one in a week and a half, and I'm excited about it. But that's why we do it. That's why we jump on these calls. That's why we make calls with each other. That's why we help each other do three-way calls. That's why we have schedulers. That's why we have a stack full of tools on how to help you get somebody started right. All this stuff. So I feel like I'm repeating now. So I want to stop, because I know that you guys are coming up, against objections and questions and things like that as well. And so having said that, I want you to think, if you guys have a question or a comment or something that you'd like to share or ask in this next little bit, we only have like 10 minutes left, okay? And you can ask me anything right now. This is your time. But as you're asking this question, I want you to ask yourself, would it have been different? Would the outcome have been different if I had had more confidence? If I had believed much bigger, much sooner? So do you guys have any questions about anything we talked about? Any questions or anything you guys have come up with throughout the week? Anything you guys want to discuss? Now is your time. Anything on the topic or off topic? I'm here for you.
Hi, Adrienne.
Hi, Lucy.
So I don't really have too much of a question, but I just want to share a little story that when I first got started, I happened upon the business totally by accident, like so many of us do. We started on the products for whatever we're doing, whether it's weight loss, whether it's energy and performance, whatever it's for. And I had such amazing results that completely changed my life. They changed my physical, outward, how I looked on the outside, but they more importantly changed everything on the inside, like emotionally and mentally, and that gave me the confidence. And then people started asking me, hey, what are you doing? I want to try that too. And then I started sharing with people. And then I would start to, rather than wait for them to ask me, I would start to share with people and saying, hey, oh my gosh, I started this program. And it was really interesting to find how many people, it seemed like they were friendly, but deep down, they really just, they wanted to shoot it down for any reason, and not so much, they weren't paying attention to me and my story and how excited I was. They were just trying to put holes in it and, bullet holes in that. And it was just really sort of disheartening at first. And then I kept thinking, well, wow, maybe this isn't a good thing. But then I would come back to, okay, I feel awesome and I love taking these products because they make me feel good and they make me look good. So I don't care what they think because they don't know. They're not in my shoes. They're not, taking these products. They don't have the same feeling that I do. And then I started to feel sorry for them because I realized that they were coming from such like a negative space. And that just, it made me sad, but it also really made me mad that so many people were so negative. And it really just opened my eyes and made me realize I know what I'm doing. I know what I did, and I know the experience that I had, and nobody could take that away from me. Nobody, no matter, if they're trying to poke holes in network marketing, which, you can't do, but people will do that when they're uneducated and they don't have enough information about the truth of it all.
Or they're just that way and you don't want them anyways, just haters, just
right.
People who want to poke holes to poke holes. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. It was just a really eye-opening experience, especially when I was getting started, to see so many different reactions. And some people were just really excited to hear what I had to say, and they wanted to join me because they wanted that excitement also. And then other people just didn't, it's like they weren't even hearing my words. All they heard was things that they just wanted to try and poke holes in. So
Sure.
It was just really interesting. And once I sort of sat with all of that and realized that it all came from me, and it was all my confidence and my belief in what I went through and what I was excited to share with people, and what I was excited about when people did join up and they were having really amazing results. That was so much fun, and it was so eye-opening, and that really just started the fire, and I just wanted to spread it to so many more people. And then I heard those people that were trying to be the naysayers, and I didn't care about them anymore because, number one, they weren't interested in bettering themselves, mm-hmm. and all they could see was negative, and I didn't want that in my life. So I was really excited that the more confidence I had in myself, and the more
let me ask you this, because, for some people that might be listening in, I know that you got past this. Like, this doesn't bother you anymore. Like, it's really hard
right.
for something like this to bother you. So what would you say to somebody who was brand new that may be experiencing challenges from family members or close friends or people in their community that really are poking holes in the fact that they decided to become a professional network marketer? What would be like a piece of advice, one piece of advice?
Well, first of all, you have to start with yourself, and that starts with personal development. Learning about yourself and learning where your assets and things like that are, and also learning where you have some work to do, whether it's in your confidence or whether it's whatever those things are. Personal development is such a huge key, and that will help you get past. And one of the other things, especially when you're just getting started and you're trying to tell the story and you don't really have all the right words, take somebody else's story and say, you know what, this happened to a friend of mine, or this happened to a friend in my company, and this is their story, and it's okay to take those words and run with it. That is perfectly fine. So don't feel like, let's just say if you're just starting out and you've got, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 pounds to lose, and you feel like, well, I can't really tell people about this because I didn't get there yet. Gosh, that is like the worst thing that you can do, is because you're making it about you rather than making it about somebody else and somebody else's goals, and you have a secret to tell them. You can't make it about you. You can't make it dependent upon whether you succeed in the next month or so, or, you can't make it about you and reaching your immediate goal. You have to spread as much as you can immediately. And that that was something that was also helpful is, you know, when I started to reach out and not have to worry that I didn't get to my, you know, complete goal yet, even though I was getting there, I was able to tell the story along the way.
Sure. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it, Lucy. I think the one thing that kept me going, I mean, I had my former father-in-law telling me that it was a waste of my time and talent. And it doesn't get much more heart-piercing than that, okay? I was really upset. And you know what I realized? I was like, no, I'm not going to ever let anybody treat me like that ever again. Bye-bye. Because the reason why is none of those people were paying my bills. None of those people were 100% supporting me in the path that I had chosen. So you don't get to have a say in what I decide to do. You can simply say, no, it's not for me right now. Thank you. I'll accept that. I really will. Okay. Although everybody rolls back in my Rolodex. So, I mean, when I'm reaching out to people, I always say, you know, 3 times, third time's a charm, you know, and if they still say no, I get great, you know, can I have permission to follow up with you the following month? And I roll them down to the following month in my scheduler, my online scheduler. So I don't give up on people necessarily, but I don't try to change them right away. I don't. I think I used to spend all this time trying to think I needed to convince people. If I could just convince them to do this with me, if they just knew what was good for them, if they knew it was right for them. Now I'm like, nope, I follow the questions, follow the scripts. What was that you said? Oh, okay, great. So you're not, you couldn't get excited about making extra cash right now? No? Okay. So, you know, why would you want to own your own business? You don't know? Okay, probably not the best candidate, right? You know, I mean, stuff like that. So, I mean, now it's like, I love it because the scripts have made my life so much easier, so much more fluid. And the more questions I ask, the less explaining I do. And it does become about them. I don't have to. Very rarely do I really share my whole story now. I've got a product story. I have a physique contest story. I have a business story. I have this story, I have that story, and I've got 1,000 other stories in my tool belts, your guys is included, and other people's who've had results on the products or the with the business. And when I'm asking them questions, I'm thinking to myself, what story works best for this person? What do they need to hear? Does that make sense? Like, I'm not so challenged anymore by any, you know, concerns they have or objections. In fact, I want them to ask me questions. Bring on the objections, right? Bring on your comments, your concerns, whatever it is, because I'm going to have a story for that. Or I'm going to have, you know, an answer for that. I'm going to have another question for your question so that you can make an educated decision. So that's why making phone calls and doing that is so key. And I find myself saying this a lot now, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I find myself saying this a lot. It's because it's what I had in the beginning and what I wish everybody who brand new had. And I wish that they would not worry so much about what to say, but that they would get somebody else on the phone. That they would be the appointment setter, not the person who tries to convince them, because they don't know how to yet. I was talking to an accountant the other day. He's on the products right now. He's feeling great. He's doing good, you know. And I was explaining to him how that process works of getting your products paid for. And he said, oh, I'm not a salesperson. I said, okay, you know, what do you think about this would be salesy? Well, I'm selling a product. I said, well, you're referring a product. Wouldn't call yourself a salesperson. Do you have previous sales knowledge or experience? Well, no. I said, well, I do. I said, I do. So you can utilize the skills that I have, because guess what? If you decided you wanted to get your products paid for, I wouldn't let you make a call alone at first. No, we would schedule a time. We'd sit down for about 30 minutes and you would pull out a list of people that you would be thinking about who you think would, you know, improve with the products, wants more health and vitality in their life, or is looking to create an income. And we would call those people together. And every single phone call I do, although be it a little different, is the same process. And you would recognize that and you would notice it, and that would be part of your training. Does that make you feel better? And he's like, yeah, it actually takes a lot of pressure off me. I said, great. Who do you know? Right? Who do you know? And I think doing that also helps move that process along. It just really does. So anyways, I'm going to be quiet because I sort of went off on a tangent. Does anyone else have any questions or anything that they'd like to ask? Because we have a group of superstars on right now. All of you guys are millionaires already, right? So, you know, or on your way. You're on your way. And I think that's
that's a great thing to point out. Just you saying that, Adrian, is that we just crowned our 202nd millionaire this week, which is phenomenal.
It's
and
mind-blowing.
I saw that post that you put up. It was just 3 years ago that we hit 100 millionaires in this company. So in 3 years, we've created 102 millionaires. That's insane. So that kind of comes with what I was just saying a few moments ago, when you don't have to have
earnings. Sorry, I know I didn't mean to stop you, but earnings, not sales. I was reading through somebody's website the other day that's in the industry, and they said they did 3.6 million in sales, and I was like, aha, not the same. It's not the same as earnings. Sorry, go ahead, Lucy.
So it just goes with sort of what I was saying about the products. You don't have to have your own story about the products immediately to share them with anybody, but you can look and have confidence that this amazing company that we have, they've created 202 millionaires. Okay, if that's not proof of something going right, then I don't know what is. And that also points to the fact where you can, when you see yourself, when you have a vision for yourself that you're going to be 200 and whatever, then that's how you start to create that. But if you look at that number and say, wow, that's so far off, I could never get there. Okay, you're right. You're never going to get there if you believe that. But when you have the vision, then you can start to work on that vision and follow all the steps that we've been talking about, and Adrian's been teaching all these weeks with, you know, how to follow up, how to enroll a new member, and all of those things go into it. But really, it starts with you. It starts with your confidence, and it starts with the amazing vision you have for yourself. And the better the vision that you have for yourself, the more successful you will be in everything, not just Isagenix business, but in everything in your life.
Thank you, Lucy. You are amazing. You covered everything. Which millionaire are you going to be? Which 200th millionaire are you going to be? That's what I want to know. You're going to put it out there. 225?
75.
275? I want to be like 211. It's a big stretch. I just like the number 11. Maybe I can play around with 2 + 2 + what? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think it's super important, you know, to have that goal in mind and to know that you found a home with Isagenix. Know that you're in the right place. You guys have no idea. George gets calls from Jim and Kathy and Travis Garza, and they work so hard and so diligently to protect this company for the longevity of you and your family. And if you only knew the type of things that they're going to come up with and that they're going to be releasing at NYKO, your jaw would drop. There's a lot of new stuff coming, and it is for you. It is for your safety, and it is for the livelihood of your family to leave a legacy. That's what it is. So it's honestly, it blows my mind to just see how thoughtful that they are to make sure that you have a company that's going to stand the test of time. Not a lot of companies can say that. A lot of other people, they're looking for the next best shiny thing. And you wonder why they leave. You know, sometimes when people don't capture that vision right away, I think that's the most painful part of me, because I literally think about you guys all the time. I pray for your success. I see you already there the way that I see myself there. I can't not do it. It's the way I've been taught. And I know that you guys do the same thing for your people. And when people, you know, stray, because they're going to, not everybody's going to stay. Don't let that stop you from pushing forward, because there is somebody who's going to stay, that's going to capture the vision, that understands the way that we get paid and knows that there's nothing else better out there. If you truly understood the comp plan, if you've watched that Jim Cooper video over and over again, if you've seen it written out so many times that you can't be swayed, because you know the power of the plan. 2 and 2, 2 and 2, teach 2, 2, 2. I mean, seriously? So I want you guys to be really good about your accountability tracker forms this week. Say I took some notes. 202. Lucy, you taught me. Okay? So, you know, all that stuff. But, right? And you can fill these out. You got your days of the week here. You got your outgoing calls, your follow-ups, your messages, your new customers or clients, the personal growth that you've done. Tick, I read 10 minutes today, or I listened to 10 minutes today. Okay, the presentations you've done, how many videos did you send? How many calls did you do, sharing a story, and then sent some tools, right? That's you presenting. Gratitude. I'll tell you what, I did some gratitudes these last couple of days because I was feeling so crappy that I couldn't do what I said I was going to do, Leah, with some of the calls that we had to do. And I had to do a lot of gratitudes, like a lot more than normal, because it's what I could do in personal development. Because by the time my feet hit the floor, if I'm not feeling like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being amazing, on top of the world, 1 being like, I feel like I'm dying or I should be dead because I don't feel great, okay? Or living in a state of hell or whatever, that's 1, okay? I was not feeling great being sick. And when my feet hit the floor and I don't feel good about that, personal development is my game plan to get me going. Doing gratitudes, reaching out to people, letting my family know what I'm grateful for, even just that day. Doesn't have to be for, I'm so grateful for you. No, it's like, George, holy shiz, did you do the dishes? You just made my whole day. I love you so much. That's a gratitude, right? Calling my little brother, letting him know how excited I was to be at his wedding, even though I was kind of a jerk, and please forgive me, I'm sorry, for being a jerk. But I love you so much. Thank you for bringing the family together and giving me time to focus on the family. Gratitudes, right? So gratitudes are super important. And exercise. And I think exercise, you guys, 30 minutes of cardio, 30 minutes of weightlifting, whatever it is you can get in, just get it in. Make yourself feel good about yourself. That's why these are on the accountability tracker form. You've got to start somewhere. But the whole purpose of this, if you can see up close, okay, is to get yourself in business with good habits and feeling good about yourself. That's why we have those, okay? So I know all of you are off to become millionaires and executives, so I'm going to do a George. Put on my money glasses. Money. Okay, but it's important that you go and you reach out. And if you only reached out to 3 or you didn't do it at all, reach out to 5 business people, 5 successful people that understand this. You're not trying to convince them about their product. They understand business. And you reach out with them with the intent to have them as a business partner. And you use those scripts. Use the Eric Worre scripts. I've always thought of you as a very successful business owner. I know you've got a lot on your plate, but I'm very committed to my business right now, and I'm looking for people who want to create a secondary source of income. If that's you, would you be willing to take a look at what I have to offer? Great. Kim, was that a hands up? Was that a question?
Just whenever you're ready, if that's okay. There we go.
I'm always ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So this couple in Roosevelt, Utah is, my cousin Jeremy and his wife Erin, and Lucy, you'll remember this from the thread, right? She was me 4 years ago, and her story reminded me of me 4 years ago when I first started. Mm-hmm. And she's really excited to get started on the product. And of course I had to talk to my cousin Jeremy, who she said was very, very, very cheap. And so I had to work through that with him, and he wondered why he wanted all the products were, not just the shakes, why all the products he had to have. And I told him, and George helped me with the thread, explain everything. So that was great. Okay. So it's been about 4 days, and I followed up with him today, and he left a message, and he goes, Erin's been bugging me to get a hold of you because she really wants to do this. So we want to do the shakes and the cleanse enough for 30 days. Mm-hmm. I hope you're not bummed that we're not getting a big pack and everything else. But we just want to start with this. And oh, by the way, we're just not interested in the marketing right now. However, we do want to try the products. Oh. I think they would be great. I mean, they would build Roosevelt. They said the reason why they're not going with a lot of people there in Roosevelt, Utah, because Lacey Cloward, who did the Chris Harder.
Last names, thank you.
Okay. So okay. Roosevelt, Utah, there's a lot of people there doing it.
Yeah.
And they said the reason why we're not going through any of them is because they're they want to get us on their fitness training program in addition to Isogenics, and we just want to do this products. Anyhow, long story is how do I show them the value of the business? How, they say, well, we don't want to do the marketing part. Of course, everyone says that. But I'm looking now for couples that my goal is to find seriously 5 couples that want to do the business. That's never really been my goal before. I've always wanted to look for individuals, mommies. You know what? My goal right now is I'm looking at Laura Stevens. I'm looking at Lindsay Hofberg. I want to find, she's got 10 executives on her team. Well, guess what? Those executives are married. They're all married. So she's got 10 couples that she goes and she spoils and she takes on trips. Well, I want that. Yeah. I want that, Adrienne. I want to be able to offer what you offer, taking couples here to San Antonio and giving them, I want this. So my goal is to find 5 to 6 more couples to do this business with. And I think it would be really good. So long story question, I'm sorry. But how do I do this? They're going to sign up, so that's great. But I want them to see more than just the cleanse and the shakes.
Yeah, well, you'd have to start out like that. So instead of, you'd have to really reach out with the intent to just talk to them about the business, and that's it. Let them be okay with that. Not that the products aren't part of the business, they are, but I wouldn't lead so much with that. I would lead that you're looking to partner with couples who want to create a secondary source of income, and they're looking to be business owners. Yeah, and I think that's an admirable goal. I would pray upon it if I was you too. I'm a huge believer of prayer, not to get religious. I don't want to bring that, but I'm saying about praying and meditating upon people that really are looking for your opportunity and want to work specifically with you. Like, you wouldn't just go on vacation, right? You wouldn't just take your business partner on vacation that you didn't like or know, like, and trust, right? So who do you know that you know, like, and trust, or that you want to get to know them and you want them to know, like, and trust you, that you think that they'd be a great candidate for this business? Those are the people, those are the names you want to write down first. And then leaders call people. They don't wait around. Leaders reach out first. So you would have to be comfortable using that Eric Worre script about when it comes to the business. I would love for you to take a look at my business. Would you be interested in creating a secondary source of income? Have you ever thought about owning your own business? If so, why? Right? Going through a lot of those business scripts, the product would end up being somewhat secondary because it has to do with being vibrantly healthy, and that's why they're attracted to it. Oh, I can't hear you.
No, it is. I've had a lot of soul searching this last week, and what really hit me hard, you guys, I went into a really hard depression in the last couple of days, was that story that was on Isogenics Business about this couple, Zach and Eden's couple, who went 3-star in 4 months. Yeah. Yeah, that hit hard. That I was beating myself up. I was like, I've been in this 4 years, so that was tough. And I thought, I want that. I want couples now with me to go on vacation with and that are become my best friends and my family. That's now what I'm after. So,
hey, do me a favor. This is your challenge for this week. You're not allowed to compare yourself to anybody. Not anybody. Not a couple, not a single person, not anybody. You are literally not allowed. If you do, it's like quicksand, immediate death. You're done. You've cooked yourself. Okay? It has to stop, because the moment that these blinders get removed like this, and it doesn't become inspiration, but because it comes admiration in a wrong way, that doesn't work. Okay? Because that's just pure frustration, jealousy, anger, resentment, not for them, for you. You're putting yourself in a very harsh situation. It's like taking a whip with nails on it and beating yourself over and over and blaming yourself and blaming yourself and blaming yourself and never truly taking responsibility. Being in that place doesn't allow for responsibility. It simply doesn't. It allows you to compare yourself to somebody else, feel less than, because you judged yourself, and then you don't move forward. It cannot happen anymore. It's probably the number one thing holding you back right now. Don't look. I don't care if you don't look at ISA FYI until January. Don't look. I don't want to see you do it. I don't want to see your other people do it. I don't want to see anybody on this call comparing themselves to anybody else in Isogenics or outside of Isogenics or anywhere. So, not allowed. Kimberly?
Okay.
Not allowed. Okay. It's not allowed. No more looking because that doesn't work. We want to keep those on real tight. Real friggin' tight. Okay? Really, really tight. Really tight. Okay? So you better have these freaking glasses on. Okay?
Yeah, we need some.
And you better have, you know what? When you're walking around with your Louis Vuitton over your shoulder at NYKO, then let's take a look at some other people, okay? And then we can reset our goals. But for right now, this is the game plan. Keep your eye on the prizes. Because it's not about these. These are fun and they're fancy, and these are going to come. It's going to be about what you create in the process. And you're going to have all the recognition that you deserve. You're going to have all the money that you deserve. Once you get on the other side of it, comes down to the daily habits that I have. Okay? All
and
right.
that you can't compare your middle to somebody else's. You can't compare you to anybody else.
I know.
And they're at a totally different spot in their journey than you are in yours.
Right. So I would start back. Do you guys remember your 9 core values? Vibrant health, spiritual connection. Got mine here. Time and financial freedom. Without that, I cannot feed my children or my family. Okay. Personal growth. Love, appreciation, and kindness for yourself and others. Family focus. Creatively making a difference and contribution. This one will really help you get to your executive. How can I creatively make a difference and contribute? Yay! Good job, Lucy. Fun, joy, and laughter. You've got to have fun. Have fun when that sheet's filled, the sheet. Have fun doing this. This should create fun, joy, and laughter. Do you know how many crazy people you meet when you just call people? It's so much fun. Okay? And then crazy as in good. Neat, orderly, and organized. Again, your Bible. Okay? It's got to be filled out. Oh, that's it. There's only 9. And team. How about that? That's why we're here. So that you can ask questions like that and get some answers, because I don't ever want anybody feeling like that. Ever. It doesn't work. Not because, it just doesn't work. So what does work is this bad boy and sticking to your 9 values. All right, you guys. Oh, big reminder. Did you guys see the weekly challenges that were put out in both groups? Yeah. If you guys could do me a favor, not because I want everyone to know, but I want everyone to know. But if you could really tag the people that you're actively working with in those weekly contests that are both in 30-Day Start to New You and Team Break Free, that would be the bomb. Because I want to make sure everyone knows about it. Because Sunday's coming up, and I want to give away some prizes. I want to give away a Lululemon gift card. I want to give away some sample packs, some good stuff for doing the do. Okay? All right, you guys. Reach out. 5 people again this week. Fill out your tracker form. Post out the weekly posts. Keep your blinders on. I can't see anything outside of these, so these are as good as blinders. I can just put my headset in and make calls, okay? And if you need a pair of these, I don't know. Maybe you'll earn a pair of these when you hit executive. Okay. It'll be fun because then you can do your Zoom chats with these on. And it'll just be like, we know where you were coached, right? So, all right, you guys. If you're ever, worried about anything, just reach out and stay the course. And let's do it. 5 people. Make it happen. Don't get distracted. Stay focused. I love you. A lot. Okay. All right, you guys. Thanks for participating. As always, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for all of your questions and everything else. And we will see you on week 10 Zoom chat call. Bye-bye.